A beady beady bum bum. A beady beady bum bum. Beady beady bum bum. Selena the series part 1. We start out with Selena's mom and her dad. They're at the hospital. And there's a lady sitting, like, laying next to them. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell y'all. I'm going to be looking at my notes in this video because this is my first time doing like a review on like a TV series / movie thingy. So bear with me. Selena's mom and dad, they're at the hospital because Selena's mom just gave birth to Selena. And the lady next to Selena's mom, who was laying on the other bed, gave them the name Selena. And so we see Selena's dad rushing to the hospital store looking at baby names, and he looked up Selena and he found out that Selena's name actually means goddess of the moon in Greek. So I guess he liked it and they liked it, so they kept the name. They actually thought that Selena was gonna be a boy, so they had boy names prepared for Selena. So yeah, so they ended up naming her Selena because it was a girl. So then we see Selena playing outside, catching light bugs, and she's singing. And then that's when her father actually noticed her singing, you know, and then he decides to start a band. You know, he told AB to play the guitar, who was Selena's brother, and he told Suzette, Selena's sister, to play the drums. And Selena was going to be the lead singer of the band. And that's how the band formed at first. Then we move on to the 1980s. Selena's father opens up a restaurant called Papagayos. Oh, excuse me if I don't pronounce anything correctly. I apologize in advance. Sorry. Anywho, so yeah, he opens up Papagayos, and the restaurant is doing well at first, and then a recession hits, and the restaurant got hit with it. So the restaurant started to go downhill. Oh, I also forgot to tell y'all, Selena's band, well, not Selena's band, but the band would play at the restaurant, and their actual first name was Southern Pearl. Yeah, it was Southern Pearl. Yep. So when the recession hits, we see that the family gets on food stamps, and they have to move out the house and live with their Uncle Hector. You know, they were sleeping in a one room all together and everything like that. And there's a part in the series where we see Abraham and Suzette and AB going grocery shopping. And I thought this was kind of funny, but Abraham was embarrassed to use food stamps, so he made Suzette and AB do it, which was fucked up. So we're still in the early 80s, and we see the band Southern Pearl playing at different places. They're playing at weddings now, and they're playing at nursing homes, you know, and Selena noticed that the people weren't dancing, you know. So after they played the nursing home, I believe Selena's father realized that they have to change up their music, you know. So that's when he introduced Selena and the band to, is it called Tejano music or Mexican music? I guess they started playing Tejano music. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, and Selena doesn't speak Spanish, so her father had to teach her how to speak Spanish too. So we get to the mid 80s. We're around 1986, and Selena's band is no longer called Southern Pearl. They go by Selena y los Dinos, and they're playing Tejano music. Then we get a little clip of AB finding inspiration for music, and like we get a feel of how he listens and pay attention to like every instrument, you know, in music and stuff like that. And then we get to 1987, and their band is nominated for their first award, which is for Dame Un Besos. And yeah, they get nominated for Dame Un Besos. And we see Selena in the bathroom, and she runs into one of her inspirations, who is Laura Canales. I think that's how you say her name. Yeah, Laura Canales. And she's basically telling her how she loves her, she's her inspiration, and then she asks her for advice. And I believe Laura told her to just be herself and not change who she is. I believe that's what she basically told her. But yeah. We move on to a scene where we see this young girl. She's like rushing to see the band play, because now we get a clip of them like playing at different concerts and stuff like that. And this young girl is like, she wants to like go see the band. So she's like begging her parents if she go see the band and stuff like that. And her parents are telling her no. But eventually, I believe her father told her yes. And then she goes to go see the band. And then at the end of the band, she meets up with Suzette. And Suzette actually thought that she wanted to see Selena, but she actually wanted to see her because Suzette actually inspired her to be a female drummer, because y'all know back in the day there wasn't that much female drummers. The only female drummer I could remember is only Sheila E. That's like, she's like the known female drummer that I know of. But yeah, I thought that was pretty nice to see, because we usually see people being inspired by Selena, but it was good to see that Suzette also realized that she was needed in the band, and how she was also an inspiration, just like Selena, to young girls out there. We move on to 1988, and they get their first tour bus, which is Big Bertha. And we see them touring and everything. I'm not gonna lie, Selena's father was kind of irritating me in this series, especially in the part 1 series, because he was too goddamn strict and too damn controlling. Like, I don't know if I could have been one of his child, because I would have been rebelling all the fucking time, because he was just so damn controlling. I don't know how they took it or whatnot, you know, like, but in the part 2 series, he does become more lenient and more likable. I mean, I understand why he's like that, you know, because he's like the man of the house, and he doesn't want nothing to happen to his children, and he's trying to keep them on a straight, narrow path. But still, like, goddamn, let them breathe, let them live a little, you know. That was just pissing me off a little bit. But back to the story. See Selena trying to find her own image, you know, like a typical teenager. You know, they like experiment with different clothing and different hairstyles and stuff like that. So I guess Selena was going through that kind of phase. And fast forward, we see Selena on the set of her first music video. And we see how the record label is trying to control her image, you know, and Selena is not liking it because she says it's not her, you know, she feels like a different person, you know, which is understandable, because you hear that a lot in the industry. You hear a lot of musicians say that, how the record label tries to change their image and everything like that, and they don't really have much creative control in the beginning of their careers, which kind of sucks. I hope that changed now. So she still does the video, and the video is a success. And then we move to a scene where the family is sitting around in the living room and they're watching themselves perform at some TV show. And they're basically just like joking around with each other, you know, watching each other perform, making fun of each other. And then we hear the doorbell ring, and guess who's at the door? None other than Chris Perez. The guy that they got to play Chris, he actually resembles the real Chris a little bit, more than the J-Lo movie Chris. I thought that the guy who played Chris in the J-Lo movie Selena, I always thought that he looked it better than the actual Chris. Sorry, no offense. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The series did kind of get a little boring. A little bit, you know, because I did find myself like looking at my phone and stuff like that and not really paying attention to it, you know. So we move on to a scene where we see Abraham. He finds a blunt on the bus, and he yells out for everyone to come see him. And we see where he fires one of the band members because they're not supposed to be doing drugs while they're at work. But technically they wasn't really working. They were like on downtime. So see, this is what I was saying, like how her father was kind of irritating because he never really let them like relax and like hang out and just chill for a bit, you know? I mean, like, you're dealing with young people, you know, like, let them live a little bit. So we see Selena and Chris like getting to know each other and everything like that. I personally thought that in the beginning it looked like Selena was more into Chris than he was into her, and I think that the family probably picked up on that. Did y'all pick up on that? Because that's how I was feeling. I feel like she was like so into him at first, and he was more kind of like laid back with it. Or maybe that was just him like hiding his feelings because he knew that the family didn't like him yet, especially the father. We see Selena trying to find herself again. She's like dyeing her hair, and then this time she actually cuts her hair short. And I don't know why she was doing that. I think she was probably doing that to get her father's approval of it. But yeah, I don't know. So where we at now? We move on to 1991, and we see Selena's song, Selena's first music video called Ver Camingo goes gold for the first time. And yeah, and then what did I put here? Oh, I put Suzette was cock blocking a little bit. Yeah, because Suzette was also being a little annoying too. Like she, I guess she was just doing what the father was telling her to do, to like watch over Selena and like not let her get so caught up on like boys and stuff, you know. Because Suzette was also being strict too, like the dad. Like every time she saw Selena with Chris or catches them, she would like tell Selena to stay focused. There's other boys out there for her, and like la-di-la-di-la, you know. And I'm like, dang girl, you cock blocking, just let them have fun and shit like that. But yeah, then we see Suzette meets Bill. You know, I always thought that wasn't fair either. I was like, how can Suzette meet how was she able to meet boys and Selena wasn't? You know, like I kind of felt so bad for Selena because it felt like she was just constantly working, like especially being so young. Like I kept thinking, like I was like, is she really living her life, you know? Because she's just like constantly working and focusing on music instead of like living in the moment, you know, and like doing typical teenager stuff, you know. We get a little flashback of the 1960s where we see Selena's mom and dad. I guess they were meeting for the first time. Were they meeting for the first time? I think so, or they got married or something like that. But yeah, that was just a little quick flashback. Selena and her father, they were fighting for an English album so that Selena can cross over and be bigger than who she is. And then we move on to episode 9, and I put Suzette finds out Chris and Selena are like dating and stuff like that. And she's cock blocking again. Then we see Bill, Suzette's man, call Abraham to ask if he could take Suzette on a date. And Abraham says yes, you know, which I thought that wasn't fair, you know, because Selena couldn't go on a date. And then we get to like this concert and Selena's performing and it gets a little rowdy. You know, they start fighting and stuff, and then one of the fans actually grabs Selena and Selena had to like punch him off of her, you know. I guess it was giving us a little like sign of how like Selena was becoming big and how fans are becoming obsessed with her, you know. And then we see this ugly, short, motherfucking, curly ass head, Oompa Loompa, penguin looking bitch, Yolanda Saldivar. And we see her, I guess she's talking, she's working as a registered nurse at the hospital, and I bet she was talking to Selena's father, telling him that she wants to work for Selena and how she'll work for free, you know. And that's kind of a sign of obsession, maybe, because who wants to work for free, you know? But no, because some people do want to work for free when they're trying to like get in somewhere. Then we move on to where Chris and Selena, they're struggling to hide their love for each other. You know, they're tired of hiding it, but they got to, you know. Then we get to the bus scene. Where Selena's father actually catches Chris and Selena, and then he's not happy. So he stops the bus and tells the band to get off the bus, and he speaks to Selena and Chris, and then he fires Chris because he doesn't want Chris dating Selena. You know, just like in the movies, the J-Lo movie, we saw how he didn't approve of Chris dating Selena. And that's how part 1 of the Selena series end. I really think that they should have ended it with Yolanda, because I think it would have added more suspense to us, you know, to see the part 2 of the series, you know, even though we knew she was coming up and everything like that. But yeah, I thought that part 1 went well. I feel like the actress that plays Selena, I think she did okay, but she didn't look like Selena. And I was reading somewhere in the comments on YouTube, I was looking at one of the videos, and somebody said that they actually whitewashed Selena, and I kind of agree, you know. When I was watching this series, she didn't give me Selena. She mostly gave me J-Lo playing Selena. It was like I was watching her play J-Lo's Selena, then watching her play Selena, if that makes sense. But I thought she did okay for what it was. And the girl who plays Suzette, I thought she was a good fit for her. I never really paid attention to her brother. But I guess he was a good fit too. The dad that was playing Abraham, I remember him from Desperate Housewives. He looked good too for an older guy. But yeah, and the mom the mom actually was in the J-Lo Selena film. She actually played, I think she played the cousin or the friend that was with her at the mall. But in this series, she actually plays the mom. And I felt like she actually looked more like the mom than the mom that played in the J-Lo movie, Selena. Yeah. But yeah, so moving on to part 2. Baila, baila esta cumbia, baby. Boom, 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 boom.